Republican Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina. Senator Scott, thank you very much. Good to see you tonight.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Obviously, these have been very dark days for our country as we've watched so much grief over the past few days. And we heard from Terrence Floyd, his brother, calling for peace. Your thoughts on that, and also on what we witnessed from the White House just a short time ago?
Well, thank you, Martha, for the opportunity to talk about such a heavy issue and an important issue for our country and our country's future. I applaud Terrence Floyd for his thoughts and his comments for peace. It reminds me of the 9 family members in South Carolina 2015 when they forgave the man who murdered the family members in the church. 9 family members suffocated, taken out, not suffocated, but murdered in the church. So that call for peace and for calm is powerful from the one voice that matters the most, and that one voice that matters the most was a member of the Floyd family. Second, I would say that the president's comments in the Rose Garden were important. They were significant. They were heartfelt. I think they led us in the right direction. We need to hear more like that from the president because, frankly, the country rallies around our chief executive when he speaks about bringing the American family together. So I thought what he said in the Rose Garden was important, it was powerful, and it was necessary.
I want to play some comments by Val Demings, who is a Democrat, obviously from Florida, and former police chief from Florida. Here's what she does not agree with you that the president is handling this well. Here's what she had to say.
As we're going through this public health crisis with COVID-19, and as we're certainly all watching and grieving with the Floyd family, America is on fire right now. And the president of the United States is walking around with gasoline.
What do you think of that, Senator?
Martha, as I've said earlier, as it relates to folks who seem to be stoking the flames, stoking the embers, not helpful. To be honest with you, what we really need is the enemy of chaos is order. We need order, we need structure, we need discipline, and frankly, we need people leaning in with compassion. I think pointing fingers is the wrong direction right now. Focusing on the future and having a real conversation about race and justice necessary. Pointing fingers, really throwing bombs towards one another, it only eliminates all life. So I would recommend that we focus our attention on progress, and I'm sure that Val is emotional at this time as well, but the truth of the matter is that we all make more progress together.
You said a moment ago that you would like to hear more from the president. Has he turned to you? I know you have a good relationship. Has he turned to you to discuss, you know, sort of the way forward and the right things to say at this time to begin to heal the country?
Well, I certainly give the president all the credit in the world on the comments that he made that were constructive, that were leaning in with compassion for those folks who feel like the justice system has not been working for them. I appreciated his comments today. He and I did talk on Saturday. I recommended that he spend more time focusing on Mr. Floyd and the death and the necessity of justice for that situation. And I really tried to echo the sentiments that I have echoed before, which is that for many African Americans, this situation has occurred too often. So Mr. Floyd is not simply one lost life, though that one lost life is too many. He really represents a larger, broader picture, a portrait of what's happened over many decades. And that's one of the reasons why the intensity factor is so significantly higher this time than it was other times. And so too many cases in too short of a time. Mr. Arbery, now Mr. Floyd, the situation in Kentucky. So having the president speak from the heart and speak about the importance of righteous indignation is really important for this nation.
Yeah, I mean, you think about those 2 videos that you just mentioned that the whole country saw, and it just makes me wonder how many times we don't see things that are happening as well.
Yes,
and it truly is heartbreaking. You know, I heard Robert Johnson speak with Brett Baer earlier, and he's calling for a multi-trillion-dollar reparations act. What is your reaction to that? Because he says, you know, you have to level the playing field. And until we finally level the playing field, we are not going to get past this racism problem.
Well, I don't think that reparations helps level the playing field. It might help more eruptions happen on the playing field. I think reparations is just not the right approach to it. Perhaps one of the most important paths forward is looking back. It's looking at and understanding and appreciating the drastic occurrence, the challenges that have been faced by so many African Americans in this country. But that path forward has really been a path forward that was created by African Americans like John Lewis leading nonviolent protests, joined by Jewish brethren and then white Christians coming alongside of each other. There is a path forward, but it starts with all of us taking responsibility where we can, moving forward. But the conversation about reparations is not a conversation I've ever been in support of, and I do not support them now.
Senator Scott, always good to talk to you. We hope we'll see you back here soon. Thank you very much.
Martha.